A California man was arrested this weekend after a police tip alerted the authorities that a man was constructing explosive devices and making threats to potentially murder Muslims. He was also, by the way, totally surprisingly, a supporter of Donald Trump, a particularly enthusiastic one, apparently, who just wanted to, blow up some Muslims. Coincidentally, considering the national discussion that we're having about religion right now. So officers evacuated his neighborhood, just to be safe, Sunday morning, and detonated a suspicious device found in Celli's home. The man is William Celli, a 55-year-old of Richmond, California. Police have not yet determined if the homemade device was inert or active, and it will probably be more difficult to do that after they blew it up, I would imagine. Now, we want to talk about some of his social media activity. Donald Trump's on again. I'm happy. Leader's okay, but this guy's a great point, man. I'll follow this man to the end of the world. To the end of the world, but not if it involves using punctuation and grammar to get there. But he's a very big fan of Donald Trump. We're clear about that, even if we're not clear what his native language is.
Let's stop there for a second. So a guy who says he's willing to follow Donald Trump to the end of the world then plots to bomb people, which is, a little Armageddon-ish.
Yeah. I find it offensive, the blowing up of people.
Yeah.
In domestic acts of terrorism. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I find it fairly offensive as well. And then the way he capitalized man. Look, the guy's crazy.
I didn't even notice that.
Right? But that's the only thing he capitalized. And what does Donald Trump go for? He goes for alpha male. And these guys who love those alpha males, he's having trouble with work. He's pissed off about immigrants that he thinks are coming and taking his job. He's beat down. And when he sees Donald Trump, he looks up to that man. So this is who Donald Trump is appealing to. Now, it doesn't look... Can you have a deranged person that's a fan of any particular person? Yeah, of course it's possible, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're this upset about immigrants and you're planning to take violent action, it seems like Donald's your man.
Yeah.
Now, whether you think that's Donald Trump's fault is a different question. Mm-hmm. But these guys are gravitating towards Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
These people who just, they hate Muslims. They hate how Muslims are bombing places. They need to be stopped with bombs. It's amazing.
And this guy hated the immigrants. He, went on and on about Syrian refugees because he's got a lot of Facebook posts about that. But he was more upset about Mexican immigrants because he thought they were taking his job. Yeah. And so, but remember, Donald Trump also called them rapists and criminals as this guy planned massively criminal activity.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, Donald, you're so right about how criminal the Mexicans are.
Yeah. We don't know if the Mexicans that stole his work were rapists, murderers, or perhaps some of them nice people. We honestly don't know at this point.
We don't know yet. We don't know yet, according to Donald Trump.
Another message from William Celli. Donald Trump's on again. I'm feeling good about myself. And I think that says everything right there.
Yep.
Not Donald Trump's on, and he is articulating reasonable policies based on a sophisticated analysis of recent history and international affairs. It's he's on again. I feel good.
Yeah. The earlier sentence you said, I don't think comes from many Donald Trump supporters.
No, you could have left out the punctuation. It's not necessary. The commas could go.
Sophisticated analysis of international affairs. That sentence has never been spoken by a Donald Trump supporter.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but you nailed it. So that's what we've seen in previous focus groups as well. They don't think what Trump is saying is true. They feel that it is true.
Yeah.
And so here again, he says, Donald's on again. I'm feeling good about myself.
Yeah.
So there you have it. And that is a powerful thing that Donald Trump has tapped into. Yeah. So many people who are angry and they don't know what they're angry about. They're lashing out. Syrian refugees who aren't even here yet. Right?
Yeah.
Mexican immigrants are taking my jobs, and Democrats, he of course hates Democrats, and he hates Republicans that aren't sufficiently conservative. I'm angry at all these people. And Donald comes on and tells me I'm right. And I feel so good about myself. Yeah. And that's a powerful drug. Yeah. And he's given that to a lot of people. That's a dangerous phenomenon.
Yeah.
This is just the most extreme example of it. There's a lot of people who feel good about themselves for all the wrong reasons when Donald Trump's up.
Yeah, there are these groups that have these incredibly antisocial beliefs. I mean, we could come up with a bunch of the different groups. I mean, there's obviously a group on the right and a little bit on the left who are primed to hate Muslims, regardless of who they are right now. And Donald Trump is a moron, but he's savvy enough to know that it does not take a genius to play on the fears of those people, the aggressive, hostile feelings of those people, the bloodlust of those people. Like, if you just tell them all the terrible thoughts you have about the world, all the people who you think need to be taken out, you're 100% right, and you put me in charge, and we're going to take them out together. And that's how, in some cases in history, that's how democracy falls. In our case, it's how you get a guy to 30 to 40 percentage points in the polls. One last quote from him, just because you've been referencing it. I have lost 30% of my business to Hispanics coming to my country under false pretenses and freeload in construction or in the blue-collar sector. They need to go back home. Let's not talk about the welfare. They suck dry. I love the idea of them freeloading by coming in and working really hard in the construction industry. When I freeload, I do not construct buildings. I can say that. I can't speak for all Hispanics. But they're really bad at freeloading, I think, as a people.
And if they're undocumented, oftentimes they must pay into payroll tax, otherwise they can't get their check. But since they're undocumented, they never actually collect the Social Security and Medicare that they've paid into.
Yes.
So not all of the people coming in play into that same exact system, but the ones that he's worried about that are taking his job in a construction field,
yes,
most likely pay into Social Security and Medicare and never get it back. So instead of taking from welfare, as he's worried about, they often contribute in the opposite direction.
Exactly.
But if you try to talk to Mr. Celli about any of this, he's not going to listen to that, because those are facts and thoughts, and he's interested in feelings.
Yeah.
And the feelings he's interested in are quite malevolent.